everybody. I just wanted to give you an idea of how I'm setting my classes up for this distance learning period on Canvas, and I'm doing my U.S. government and my world history classes a little bit differently, so you could see at least kind of the structure of how I'm doing it. Now, there's many different ways to do this and be successful. I just want to throw an idea out there. I think this system works pretty well. If any of you guys have other systems that you would like to share, that would be awesome. I would love to see some other ways of doing it, and I might steal some of your ideas. So, first and foremost, I'm going to take you into my freshman class. I just kind of want to show you how I formatted this because, once again, I think it's a good way to organize it, and it's an easy way to do it for the kids. All right, so first of all, the way I set this up is I told them today, and you can easily do this either from having, one of those, conferences with your classes, or even just posting, some sort of video announcement that has a walkthrough if you want to change this for next week. But here's what I did. I made a module for the selected dates that we are going to be doing distance learning, and I basically just added a new page for every day. All right, so I just hit new page and then typed the date in, and it pops up like this. So starting with the 16th, that's Monday, I just kind of laid out what the learning goals are and typed out what the activities are. And then down here at the bottom, I put the link for, what their assignment for the day is, which is this Edpuzzle. They can click on that and it will link them over to the Edpuzzle page. But I'm kind of doing this for every day, so it kind of creates more of a calendar. If there's things that aren't a graded assignment, it's also in there. Also, don't forget it has the immersive reader on here, which is great, so it can even just read it to the students. But I just kind of wanted to show you an overall setup that I have. On Wednesday, what's interesting is I am going to have them use the discussion board. But if you have any ways where you can be a little bit creative with this, with the discussion board, it helps. What you'll see is if you post a question, a lot of times you'll have students, they answer the question and then, it says to respond to other students, which is the goal of getting that using the discussion tab. And you'll see a lot of responses that are kind of cookie cutter, like, I completely agree with what you said. This was, great that you said that. I was thinking the same way, and they kind of regurgitate what the other person said. If you can kind of make it so that this way there is some uniqueness, and you kind of, in this one I did role playing, but there's a lot of different ways you could do this. This assignment, they're making basically a State of the Union address as one of the different emperors of the Mongol Empire. I have them read some biographies of them, and then you come in here and their job is, to give this State of the Union. But then when they do their responses, their role is no longer as a Khan, but as one of their advisors, and I'm telling them to provide feedback to two peers by the end of the week about what things they think they could change to make it seem either more from that Khan's perspective or just overall, what issues is the nation dealing with at the time. So that's just one way you could do this. So I'm setting it up that way, and they just keep going through every day, and they have different activities that they have to do, and it's just kind of laid out nicely for them to see. Then once we get to I'm calling it a synchronous session. That's the EdTech buzzword for it. But it's just a session in the conferences tab. This I'm going to use to review over material and give them an expectation for what the assessment will be the next day. The way I'm doing assessments is I am doing it synchronously or where they're all taking it at the same time. They have to come in at the right time that their class period is, and they click on it. I'm doing it all essay based, so there's going to be 4 essay questions. They won't know them ahead of time, and they're all about 1 paragraph each. So I'm hoping that the added time stress will make it harder for them to consult other resources and have it be more of a take-home quiz. That's really not what I was looking for. So that's why I'm doing it this way. But once again, if you have any other good ways to do it, you can. I'm having they do one question at a time and they go to the next one. And then I'll actually be doing it in a way where every section might have a couple questions that are different, just so this will limit some of the circulation of the questions. But so anyways, that's kind of my setup for my world history and geography class. I did want to have some sort of assessments, but the more uniqueness I feel like you can have with the assignments, the better, because it once again will make it harder for them to work together on these. For the Ed Puzzle takes care of a lot of it. They have to answer the questions individually. This is a map, so they're all going to be a little bit unique. It's coloring, anything where they're making a model or anything. And then I like this Mongol emperors thing that I'm doing where they all should have a unique response. It's on the discussion board. A DBQ, right, essay based. But any creative thing where you can make them make a product, whether that product is a paragraph, that product is some sort of image, a diagram, something where they all should be unique. A concept map would be a great idea too, just because they're all going to be a little bit different. I think that's a good idea. With my older class, I'm doing it a little bit differently. U.S. government is a seniors class, so I am going to trust them a little bit more, whether I should or shouldn't. I'm kind of hoping, what I said to them was, listen, you're responsible for this learning. For them, I'm doing the same thing. I'm having the separate days. Some of them are, standard notes days, which I did make an assignment for the notes. I just posted the video right in here. I have a reading guide. This is kind of something that, once again, with older kids, I'm hoping they'll be a little bit more mature about it. Some similar things here, filling in graphic organizers. I'm doing a discussion board for them. They're doing a debate. So this is another way with the discussion board that you can make it so that this way it's not, it's a little bit unique and they have specific things they have to do. So for federalism, they're stating an opinion on it. And then for the two peers, I want them to challenge the two peers, meaning they should, if they find someone who has a different view as theirs, they should kind of debate back and forth, and that's my goal with this discussion. But then, for them, I'm actually having them just do a take-home test. I'm kind of flipping the idea here. Rather than having, a take-home assessment, so to speak, as their final assessment overall, I'm using it almost as like a big worksheet where I'm making sure they're reviewing the material. And then the last thing I'm doing is I'm just doing a project for the last week, an individual-based project. So once again, they're creating a product to demonstrate their learning. So I'm making that what would be the bigger grade versus using a traditional assessment. So this is how I'm setting my classes up. If anybody has any questions or any good ideas, I would love to hear from them. But I just wanted to give you guys an idea of how I'm doing it in a way that I think will be pretty effective. Thank you guys very much for watching, and I'm looking forward to hearing from you soon.